Welcome to the House Therapy, the podcast that helps you to create a home that you love to live in. I'm Nina Dwaron, owner and lead designer at ISO Design and Interiors. And each week, we're going to explore practical ways to help bring more beauty, function, and flow into your space. From design and staging to organizing, downsizing, and everything in between. If you want a home that truly supports your life and your family, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to the House Therapy Podcast. Research indicates that about 18% of boomers who are age 55 plus said that they have either already downsized, while 34% plan to do so in the next 5 years. And recent data from the retirement planning poll suggested that among people who are approaching their retirement, roughly 46% say that they will downsize within 2 years of completing or finishing their full-time work. And almost half of Canadians approaching retirement are planning to downsize soon. So what does this mean? It means that this trend will really reshape the housing demands for us in the years to come. And so today's episode is all about helping seniors to sell their family home. So selling a home later in life is not just a real estate transaction. It's so emotional. It is very, very personal, and it may require a very different approach at the same time as well. So for this reason, in this episode, I want to walk you through how to help seniors to sell their family home. And the most important thing is to make the process feel more supportive and, of course, less overwhelming, because selling a home is overwhelming at any given time, let alone when you're a senior and you haven't moved in decades. But like any other property, staging is absolutely going to help to sell a home, including a senior selling their home. But the approach may have to be a little bit different. Now, seniors have often lived in their home for decades and have not moved. And these homes are filled with memories and treasures and furniture that has deep sentimental feelings or meanings. And buyers, however, on the other hand, are looking at a home that way differently. And they want to be able to imagine their future in the home, not the past, and certainly not with your past. And staging can help to bridge that gap. It helps buyers to see the potential without having to erase the story of the home, the character of the home. And for seniors who are downsizing, staging really is not about perfection for them. They don't care. It's more about comfort and minimal disruption to their lives. And often they ask themselves, why do I need to change anything? My home, sold just fine years ago, but they forget that it's been decades. We've never had to do anything like this in my days. And that is very, very true. But selling in today's market is very different than it was decades ago. And seniors often don't understand that buyers' needs have changed. And the way that they buy a home have also changed. So helping seniors to sell in today's market requires gentle education, not pressure, not rushing through things, and definitely it's not about making drastic changes while they're living in their home. Hey, listen, there's no question about it. The best time to stage is after the seniors have moved out. But that may not always be the case. But when that does happen, and they've moved out into their new home, often they're going to be taking what they already need for their new space, their smaller space. They're going to take their favorite furniture, their treasures, and what's left behind becomes a lot easier for us to work with. So decluttering becomes less emotional because they're not there to witness the decluttering process, and staging can then be far more effective if we can bring in some additional furniture, modern furniture. Most of all, this will also prevent seniors from having to live in a staged environment, which can feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar, right? Because a lot of their stuff has been packed away. So if moving out before selling is not an option, and that often is the case, and the seniors are still going to be living in a home while it's on the market, in these cases, the priority becomes comfort, and the staging needs to become significantly simplified. And simplifying may mean that you can only use or should only use what they already have. So focus on the repositioning of the furniture to improve the flow of the room, and removing excess items without stripping the home bare, which is very uncomfortable for senior sellers. So the focus is really on making the home easier to maintain for showings for them. And so this is especially important for seniors with mobility or energy concerns. So simplifying is going to be something that highly is recommended important. And the most important part about helping seniors to sell is, of course, the decluttering and the neutralizing process. It's not about emptying, it's not about making the space feel cold, but it's about creating a calm and clear vision for the home. Seniors often ask, where do I start? What do I keep? What do buyers want, right? So my recommendation is to start with the surfaces, the walls, the tabletops, and then tackle one room at a time. Remove the small artwork and collections like collectibles, because that just adds visual clutter to the space. Instead, what you should do is focus on keeping the larger pieces to create that focal point. This then helps buyers to see the space and not the stuff that's in the space. And really, neutralizing does not mean boring at all. It means move-in ready, and it means creating mass appeal for potential buyers. And really, you want to be able to attract anyone who comes through the door. So the goal is for buyers to walk in and think, hey, I can live here. I can see my family and my stuff in the space, not your stuff. Now, another common issue in seniors' home is furniture placement. Spaces often feel smaller than they are because there are simply too many pieces added over time, like over the years. And the rooms then stop to feel like it can flow easily. So, decluttering is a small shift that can completely change how a room can feel. And this can include removing extra pieces that are no longer frequently used or needed in order to improve the traffic flow, and repositioning what is already there in order to create that conversational layout that makes more sense. Often furniture are set too far apart and hugging a wall. Now, many senior homes are cozy, which is lovely, but cozy can also easily read as dark. So one of the simplest fixes that I like to recommend is lighting, and by simply changing out light bulbs to a brighter and yet warm light. The other thing you can do is to remove heavy drapery in order to let more natural light in, especially during the colder winter months where light is limited, because buyers want welcoming, bright spaces, and lighting helps to make a bigger difference than most people can imagine and realize. So, helping seniors to sell their home is about more than selling a house. It's about helping them to honor a lifetime of treasures and maintenance in their family home, and helping them to support a new chapter and change. So these small changes that I've recommended can really make a huge difference, and gentle guidance for seniors is huge. So when staging is done right, it does create that confidence for everyone involved. So if you are a senior thinking about selling, or a family member who is trying to help, or a realtor who is working with this seller demographic, I hope that this episode gave you some clarity and some guidance, and of course some reassurance that, staging does not have to be complicated or does not have to feel cold. Thank you for listening, and remember, when you take care of your home, it'll take care of you. I will see you again in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the House Therapy Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, be sure to follow the show and share it with someone who would love it too. For more tips, resources, or to work with me directly, visit isodesign.ca. Until next time, remember, with a little effort, every home can be beautiful and every space can be functional. And remember, you deserve it.